For throwing herself between the leader of the Jamestown colony and a warrior's club, Pocahontas becomes a bridge between cultures and a savior of the future nation. Or at least that's how the story plays in the movies. The story is part of the country's DNA. But did it really happen?
John Smith sent a report home to England as soon as he was released, a couple months later, and he never said anything about that at all. In fact, he said that they treated him with what kindness they could, that was a quote, and clearly wanted to negotiate with him and form some sort of trade relationship.
It's possible that Smith misinterpreted an adoption ceremony as an execution.
Another theory is that he was being tested by Indian priests as to whether he was worthy of being saved.
His capture and then his release was an attempt to make him a kind of captain or a member of the Confederacy, and to try to bring Jamestown under the rule of Powhatan.
Ceremony or execution, historians don't believe Pocahontas would have been present.
Experts insist that she was far too young as a young woman to participate in ceremonies like that. So very likely, from their perspective, she didn't participate.
If it happened at all, Smith kept the life-saving story under wraps for decades. Although he published about his Virginia adventures in 1608 and 1612, it doesn't appear in print until his 1624 book, General History of Virginia.
Only years later, when all the principals were dead, did he come up with that story. Nobody was left to contradict it.
He also spins the romantic tale. From a literary point of view, it makes a much better story. Of course, she was around 11 years old. He was 27.
They certainly knew of each other, but the romance between them very likely was total fiction on part of John Smith's part.
In fact, Smith has a history of fictionalizing his adventures. He told the identical story more than once before.
Tales about princesses, young women in other parts of the world also coming in and saving his life just when he was about to be dispatched.